I think we're live. Okay, what's up, everyone? It's Nick Atkin here. Another quiet day at one championship fight week. No, not very quiet at all. The usual drama at the one championship official weigh-ins and hydration tests. I need someone in the chat just to help me. Is my mic on? I'm using my AirPods. Let me know if the sound's coming through clear. I can't hear anything. I feel like I've pressed the right buttons on here. I'm not sure if my laptop's picking up the sound. Apologies if it is and the quality is not good. I'm kind of winging it. Don't have my usual setup. I am, of course, on the road. I'm in the Best Western Wonder Plus Hotel in Bangkok, and the mic is good, apparently, says Connor. What's up, Connor? Combat Sports Today also says good. What's up, Combat Sports Today? Official Louis in the chat. Chester here, all the members in the house. What's up, guys? Big shout out to my members on the channel. They make everything possible for these trips. You're going to see some awesome content tonight, by the way, from Giuliano, shot by FNT on Instagram. Please give him a follow if you haven't already. He's been doing his behind the scenes stuff for me again. We got a great episode for you tonight, obviously, with 3 fighters missing weight. But just, yeah, one more thing, if I can say it again. Thanks to all the members of the channel for subscribing or not subscribing, for being members. The extra money helps me pay guys like Giuliano and contributors to come and do all this extra stuff and really get some awesome content going. So thanks again to all the members, and you get some cool perks like this title belt next to your name, some custom emojis, and of course extras. I will point you down to the just press the button and you'll see what you can get. More stuff coming, by the way. But once again, thank you guys. Giuliano is there. Yes, he's just uploaded the episode, I think. So I'll get around to it after this podcast. I think it is a good episode. But yeah, as the thumbnail here says, and the headline and all that, 3 fighters missed weight on a very dramatic evening. Dennis Puric and Elias Mahmoudi, who were going to fight each other, both missed weight. Dennis did pass hydration, but he missed by 3 pounds, so he was 138. Mahmoudi was failed hydration twice and was off weight in unofficial checks. I expect that fight will go ahead. And Petchtanong also missed weight. He failed hydration too, and he's still. I just saw him in the lobby. He's still waiting to give another sample, and I think I saw Mahmoudi's brother as well. A bit about half hour ago, he said Elias was also still waiting to give his sample because you know they have to drink a load of water, and then basically they'll be a lot heavier. So we'll see. I'm sure Nabil will still take the fight with Petchtanong too. But yes, it could have been a lot more dramatic. We had a couple scares too with the title fights. Both title fights were momentarily in jeopardy. Daniel Kelly missed weight in her first attempt, and Alibek Rasulov missed weight. Oh, he was on weight, but he failed hydration his first attempt. Both of them came back though and passed. So both title fights will go ahead on Saturday, which is good news. Could have been a lot worse, as I said. But yeah, the usual drama. Tetsuya is going in on Petchtanong here. Another member, what's up, Tetsuya, saying, I've had enough of Petchtanong. Oh dear. Oh dear. All in the bill. Yeah, Petchtanong was saying he felt he was telling me he was adamant that he was underweight. You know, he was 144.3, he said, I think, but he had to cover up some Venom logos on his gear, which and the tape weighed him down. I'm not sure how this works, but that is what he said. So he still failed hydration no either way, and he didn't come back again. He left it kind of late to come in on his first attempt, which you're always dicing with death there a little bit. If you don't come in early, because you come in early, you still got a bit of time. Even there, it's still hard though. But Giuliano, his Insta is at shot by FNT. You can see it on my page if you go up there. Nicola will be collabing on a couple of things soon as well. Yes, shot by FNT. Juliana was here with me tonight. We'll be there together tomorrow at the face-offs and ceremonial weigh-ins. I do fully expect the card to still go ahead with all fights, just a couple of catchweights now. Yeah, dramatic night. Follow, there you go. Got another follower there, Giuliano. Some great work from him. Bailed me out a little bit with my. I was using this Pro. What's it called? A DJI Osmo Pocket 3, a new addition to my setup. It worked brilliantly at the afternoon face-offs for one Friday fights at Lumpini today. The reels all looked great. I don't know if you've seen them on my page on my Instagram. The lighting was excellent, and I was pretty close to that. But we were kind of far back today in the weigh-ins, like further back than usual, I would say. And I had to zoom in a little bit on this Osmo DJI thing. So as Giuliano informed me, it's a digital recorder. There's no lens, so it kind of cuts up the picture a bit the more you zoom in. So yeah, my footage was a bit grainy. I ended up just kind of using it mostly on all on my Instagram story. But Giuliano sent me a few shots from his footage, which is going into the behind the scenes episode 2 tonight, and those all look incredible. If you like what you saw with those, Nabil, we did Jared Brooks and John DiBella and Kong Torani. Yeah, then hopefully you'll be watching the full episode tonight where you'll get a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff. We have a good episode there, a bit more dramatic and interesting than yesterday's episode. We tried our best to liven up the media day, but it's not every month you're going to get Rug and Malakin having a fight in the lobby. So I think, yeah, you'll enjoy tonight's episode a bit more. But anyway, that small red tape can't be 1 pound. Yeah, I'm not sure what Pet was getting at there, but is what it is. Some heavy duct tape, yeah, and it made him fail hydration. Yeah, but Connor's glad Christian Lee made it. Rasulov, shocked Rasulov made weight, expecting to miss weight and hydration. Yeah. When he failed hydration the first time, I just thought, oh, here we go again. Because he obviously missed last time. The first time he fought when the interim title was on the line, and I thought we are gonna have another situation where that would happen. Luckily, not. He came back and passed. All good. Yeah, hearts were in mouths a little bit for a while, but yeah, I mean, not much else to say other than that. So if you have questions, get in. I'll try and do as much as I can here. It has been a long day, of course. Been a long week, and we got another long day tomorrow. We got the ceremonial weigh-ins, face-offs in about midday. Going back to the Cielo Sky Bar, one of the other rooftop venues. Haven't used that one for a while. We've been using something else. I forget the name right now. But yeah, I quite like both of them. It's all good. Nice views on both. And then straight over to Lumpini for One Friday Fights 90, which is a really good card. Maybe we can do a bit of a preview for that here as well. I'm watching the face-offs today for that. I just thought, damn, there's some really good fights here. I didn't realize how many people were on there that are kind of interested to see. Normally you've got the international card, and then there's like mostly just ties the second half, but there's some interesting Westerners, foreigners, shall we say, on the second half of the card too, which, yeah, good for me because you get some more Instagram collaborations on those reels, and it was good. I enjoyed it. Saturday's card is also awesome, so it's going to be a couple of really fun cards back to back. Really 2 busy days as well. Already, I'm a bit dead, as you probably can see and hear from my voice. I'm very tired. Not sleeping too much. My eyes are probably got bags under them. Yeah, as always. But are you surprised? Story of the fight asks. No fights were announced with the 171 announcement. Well, that's another thing. Yeah, we can talk about, and I'd completely forgotten again. brilliant timing, of course, dropping that right in the middle of the weigh-ins. Could have done without that happening. I would have preferred if they waited till next week, perhaps, when things are a bit quieter. But yeah, if you missed that in the middle of all the drama tonight, One Championship dropped some news that they are officially going back to Qatar. If we can look it up and I'll share it on screen. There was an announcement as well. Basically, yeah, the interesting thing is it is on a Thursday, February 20. So I had heard more than whispers, really. I kind of knew this was the date for Qatar, but I was questioning whether that was a typo or something, or an error, and it was actually the 21st, which is a Friday, but it is a Thursday. First ever Thursday show I can remember in One Championship. I honestly, it's always been Friday or Saturdays as far as I can remember. Not sure it'll make too much difference. I'm not sure the reason why it is a Thursday, but here is the announcement. One Championship is returning to Qatar. The world's best martial artists are going back to Doha for 171 on February 20. Sign up now for tickets. Yada yada. Nikki Holtzkin says, "See you soon," which is a surprise to me because I had heard another date for Nikki Holtzkin. There wasn't this, so maybe that fight's been moved. I don't know. There is Shamil Erdogan asking Chetri for a fight. Rug is commenting, maybe Rug and Malakin rematch. That would be nice on that card. I think that makes sense. Do it in a cage. I presume there's a cage there. Malakin also saying, "Let's go." I think, yeah, I do know a couple of fights on that card. I can't say them, but you'll enjoy them. I think they are good fights. Yeah, hopefully those fights will be announced very soon. Probably next week, I imagine. I feel One's in a better place this time. I hope they're gonna change the way they do the card. Last time the card didn't really hit right. It was I would do more Muay Thai. I hope there's Muay Thai on this, and I think maybe get some better demographics on there in terms of like the local audience coming. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a better show than last time. It was still a great show last time, but I think some of the fights didn't really work out in the end. Some extenuating circumstances with the Bular red card and the Jared Brooks red card, things like that. But yes, I think they'll give it a better go this time. I'll go over to my page here. I've got too many tabs open. I can't even see where Instagram is again. Okay. Yeah, I can run through some of my stuff. Yeah, this is the headline from today. Story will be up on Bangkok Post News soon. I'm sure it may already be up now. I'm not sure. Just 5 million things going on at the same time. Petchtanong, Elias Mahmoudi, missed weight, and Dennis Puric, as we have said, as you all know. I'm sorry, I'm just closing some of these tabs. There's far too many. It's annoying me. But I don't want to close something I need. It's always like that. Okay, getting down. All right, I can see what this is now. I haven't closed Instagram. That's good. Okay. I'll try and show. Here's Dennis's first attempt. I think it may have been the second. I'm not sure if he even came back. I think he just came for one. He passed hydration, but then he had the curtain, so you knew it was going to be close. But it wasn't close. It was 3 pounds over, 138. And yeah, I had asked Dennis earlier in the week if all was good with the weight. He said it'd be fine. I think he said he was like 10 pounds over though, so that kind of sparked my fears a little bit, and that was Wednesday. So I knew it was going to be tight, and Mahmoudi, yeah, Mahmoudi's big, isn't he? And he's very wiry, of course, but I do wonder if he'd be better off at bantamweight. But when he makes weight, he's just so tall and rangy, kind of like Nabil was at that weight class too. Obviously, a big advantage for him if he can make it. But maybe it's time for him to go up to bantamweight. I don't know what you all think. Maybe he feels it's too big for him up there. I'm not sure. This week's Friday Fights card is the best non-10-pole card on paper, in my opinion. Yeah, I like that, Connor. It's true. When will you upload episode 2? Nishit asks. I don't know. Maybe right after this. Oh, it's there. It's in the. Maybe I can press publish now. Yeah, because Juliana has been very kind and just uploaded it straight to YouTube for me. So I might just be able to press publish quickly, and then I can change anything if I need to later in terms of captions, headlines. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to publish it now because then you might stop watching this and go and watch that. I want to save it. So yeah, we'll as soon as I get off this podcast, we'll go and publish that, and you can watch that show straight after. Just wall to wall content for all of you. If you like One Championship, you're in the right place. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel. Qatar card is going to end at 3 a.m. for me, Louis says. Yeah, the time's a little weird. I remember the last show started 4 p.m. local time, which is a bit early. I have no idea what the time zone is. Connor's saying they should have announced Qatar during Fight Night 26 broadcast. Just basic marketing. Yeah, I was a little shocked. I don't know why you'd do it in the middle of your weigh-ins and while you're building up to a big event here. Very surprised. And it kind of gets lost in the shuffle, or the other stuff gets lost, Anyway, Tetsuya says more foreigner versus Thai matchups on Friday fights is the way to go. They need to SMH. Shaking my head, solve the problem of Thais taking dives, though. It will actually be easier to fake a quick KO if they're fighting at Russian. Yeah, some other news that dropped today, I think it was, or yesterday. Mahaheen, I think he fought last week, has been apparently been given a lifetime ban for suspected dive. I don't know much about it other than seeing the headlines on Beyond Kickboxing. Timothy Wheaton's story, great story there. I haven't read the story, but kudos to them for getting that. Yo, just want to point out the host's incredibly handsome. You have great taste, yo. Yep, I can't lie, can't deny it. Thank you. That's my girlfriend. Yeah, so she has to say that. I don't feel very handsome right now. I feel pretty haggard, to be honest. Tetsuya saying, Bula versus Ketchup in Qatar. Let's go. Fight of the century, yes. Also, you see, Yo-Yo is not a member. Can't believe it. She can't cough up the £2, $5, whatever it is. No, I'm just kidding. She actually bought me the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is a lifetime of membership fees. So she doesn't have to be a member. But if anyone else wants to be a member, more than welcome to join. Albert's notes saying, how is Petchtanong versus Nabil's fight? Are they still fighting? Yeah, I imagine so. I don't think Nabil would say no. Like I said at the top of the show, I think I saw Petchtanong and he still hadn't gone in. I literally saw him just as I was coming up. He still hadn't gone back to piss again, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Sometimes it takes a while to get the waterworks going. You know what I mean? Bula has been removed from the roster. I don't know if he has. Connor saying Bula versus Ketchup and Edgar versus Mini Mustard. We don't need more of these fights, guys. Come on. I wouldn't mind Ketchup being in Rugrug's corner for the Malakin rematch, or he could go into Malakin's corner, try and psych out Rugrug. That'd be fun. Yeah, Yes, I will see you there, One Lumpini FC, tomorrow at Lumpini Stadium at the canteen at 5 o'clock. We like to get there early and enjoy a bit of downtime before the show. That is my guy Shine, runs the best page on Facebook. If you like One Championship, go follow One Lumpini FC. I'm sure you already do, a lot of you. That's my brother over here. Shout out to Shine. Thanks for tuning in again. Story of the fight, saying wall to wall coverage. Indeed, it is. It is wall to wall coverage. I don't stop. I wish I could stop. Yeah, it's just you just kind of know you get here and then you know, all right, the next 4 days I'm not stopping. Let's do it. Vegan, what's up? Saying the scale needs aluminium rims and carbon fiber platform. I don't know what that means, but yeah, don't think anyone could blame the scale today for their misses. I want to party with you in Qatar. One Lumpini says, let's go to Qatar. I'll see you there. It's I don't know how long the flight is from Thailand. Probably similar to Hong Kong. It's like a 7 hour flight. Not too cheap though, if I remember correctly. And last time I went through Kuala Lumpur and then had another connection to Sri Lanka, which didn't pan out, I think. So they just kept me back in Malaysia and put me on a direct flight to Doha because it was the airline's fault because there was a delay or something. But on the way back, I had to go back through Sri Lanka. It was not a fun journey. And I remember that was in the middle of a crazy run of shows. I think we had Tokyo in late Jan, then there was Bangkok early Feb, then Qatar was. Am I getting this right? Yeah, there was sort of like 4 shows in the space of 4 weeks or something like that. Life was pretty hectic. Yeah, I was flying around a lot, and I think early next year is going to be the same. It seems like you're going to have. Well, this month we got this show, and then we got a tempo on December 20. Then we are. There's a bit of downtime over Christmas, but straight back into it. January 10th, I think, for Fight Night. Then January 24th for 170 numbered event, and then there seems to be a February Fight Night, first week of Feb, something like that. And then there's now this Qatar 171, February 20. Then there seems to be a Fight Night early March, and I believe there's a Tokyo show later that month. And I'm thinking there's probably going to be a tentpole that month too. So possibly 3 trips in March. I may just have to stay in Thailand for a little bit for those 2 Bangkok shows. Who knows? It is your Facebook account. That's right. I didn't see. Maybe Yo-Yo is a member, but all the same, thank you for the support. My number one fan. I'm her number one fan, and I'm sorry I'm not there, Yo-Yo, but thank you for tuning in, listening to me talk at what must be nearly midnight in Hong Kong. Listen to me babble on about people getting on the scales. But yes, you can tune in on Facebook here. You can tune in on Twitter, YouTube. I think those are the 3 platforms I'm streaming on at the moment. If you have other platforms you'd like me to stream on, please let me know. I'll try and set it up. I used to dabble with Twitch in the SCMP days, but we'd only ever get 2 viewers or something like that. So it wasn't really worth it. And I don't understand Twitch either. Amor saying, let's see if one is cheeky enough to give 2 weight misses the next shot at Rodtang instead of Nakrobe or Kong Torani. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I bumped into Mahmoudi's brother, who's also his coach, and he was pretty despondent. Yeah, because it feels like they may now have lost their shot at potentially, getting a big win here, getting a big bonus, and getting a title shot. And Puric as well. So it kind of plays into Rodtang's favor a bit, and no one's going to be begging to see the winner of this fight, Rodtang. There was a scenario where Rodtang I think is going to fight Zakeru around about March, I think, in Japan, and that could have been awkward if, say, these guys had made weight. One of them got a big win, called to fight Rodtang for the vacant belt. Uh, could have made some noise about an interim title against Kong Torney or Nakro, but now maybe those two guys are in the driving seat to call out Rodtang, and but they're both Thai, and they're not going to do that. They're very respectful gentlemen. They won't make much noise, so I think Rodtang's fine. This probably has helped him a bit in a weird way. Everyone's just missing weight at flyweight at the moment. I think one championship need to bring Peter Miller on board for everyone. All of his guys passed today, 7 out of 7 this week across the two events, and tonight he had DiBella and Kong Torney, and he's got a few on Friday fights as well. So yeah, if you want to pass these hydration tests and make weight, he is pretty much guaranteed to get you there. He's had one or two fails, I think. Smilla Sundell, when she took a fight on short notice and she was kind of outgrowed that weight class anyway. And then the other one, I think, was Johan Ghazali back last December. But, Pete, I don't think that one was his fault either. But he's got a good record. So I think more and more fighters are seeing that and signing up with him. Again, these shows always turn into a plug for condition nutrition, but you have to say it. He makes their life a lot easier, and good to see DiBella pass without any issues tonight. He looked pretty good. Kong Torney, what a world of difference since he's brought on Pete. That's 2 fights now in space of a month. He's passed 4. Before that he'd missed weight at least once. So very smart decision to use condition nutrition. Albert's note saying one needs more welterweight fighters. Haven't seen them for ages yet. Well, the higher weight classes are kind of stalling, especially if you're in MMA. It's kind of non-existent at the moment, to be honest. Chester saying, "What was Brooks saying to get laughs at the scales?" I'm not sure. I couldn't really hear, but again, I was quite far back. But what was interesting about Jared is he turned up with a shiner on his, I think it was his right eye. I didn't really notice it, but Giuliano, eagle-eyed Giuliano, maybe because he had his 4K camera zoomed in on Jared's face, could see it, sort of nudged me and said, "Oh, he's got a black eye." And yeah, when Jared came off the scales, I had a quick chin wag with him and I asked him, "Are you okay? You all right?" You might be able to see this conversation on our behind the scenes episode 2, which is going up right after the show. And Jared said, "Yeah, it just happened in training, but he's fine." He says, "I can see. That's the most important thing." But there was a nice, funny exchange there. Just one of the examples of what you can see on behind the scenes episode 2. Some cool stuff. Rain asking when are one coming back to Singapore. I know Louis wants to find out that too. No idea. No idea. I wouldn't bet on it happening soon. I feel like one is kind of finally all but moved its operation to Thailand, and makes sense, given Friday fights and most of their events are out of Lumpini, unless it's a numbered event. So I don't know. Singapore for me is not a fight market. It's harder to get people into stadium there. It's not a fight town, not a fight culture. Thailand is. It's much easier to fill stadiums. Japan in April or March, Lumpini FC. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't heard anything. I'm guessing March, but it could be April. Does she watch the fights? Is that Yo-Yo? I don't. Not really. Sometimes I force her to. Well, I'll stick it on a Friday, and she may have to watch sometimes. But if I'll put it on the laptop because I got my VPN there anyway. Um, she's been out to a few events with me, and we've she's had to hold up the camera, got the phone, and film people beating each other up while I do interviews, things like that. That is love, you know. Not sure she's a huge fan of fighting though. Vegan saying fighters who have to strip for the scale should fight naked. Don't know what that means, but Nick, can you do the Atkin shuffle for me, please? Shandy98 asks. I don't know what the shuffle is. You just fill me in. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll try. Maybe not right now. I'm kind of limited space here, you know. As much as I love this hotel, it's become a second home. I want to figure out how many days and weeks I've actually spent here since the start of January 2023. It's got to be an insane amount. Maybe like a quarter of my life. No, that's probably too much. But it's become second home, like I say. Rain misses watching them live in Singapore. Says, I'm not sure if you remember, but I was the fan you met at One Fight Night 4 press conference. Oh, I do kind of remember that. I remember I bumped into, I think, one of the Instagram followers as well, whose handle is Dope Piece, I think. I'm not sure if that's you as well. There were a few people who kind of, I remember taking a couple of pictures, yeah, with her. I think Tom Taylor was there as well, right? Fight Night one on Prime Video or Fight Night 4? God, I don't even remember. Was it Prime Video? Yeah, back in the day. What was one on Prime Video for? Was that Christian Lee and uh Abasov? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I do remember this. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Rain, that there's been no cards since then, or maybe there have. There was one, I think, yeah, in March, the year after Superlek and Daniel Williams, and then there was Stamp and Ham when Angela Lee retired. I wasn't there at that one, but great to have met you, and thanks for tuning into the channel and watching. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Is so Linu still fighting? Blizzard asks. No, no, he's recovering from the car crash. I meant to talk about the car crash on the show on Monday. I did. I'm not sure I even did, but yeah, Solely knew. If you don't know, he managed to the brakes on his car went out, I think, and his car rolled down a hillside. Windshield got all smashed up. He walked away, luckily, with just some cuts and bruises. Pretty bad cut on forehead. Looked pretty nasty. Needed some stitches, so he won't be fighting. And his leg a bit messed up. You kind of need your face to be unblemished and your leg to work if you're going to fight Sexan. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. But I don't know when he'll be back. Hopefully, it won't take too long. Maybe they could rebook that for the next tentpole if he's ready. But Sexan's going to get a new opponent. Um, yeah, one of my fans from Myanmar here looks like. What's up? Yes. Ha. So was that you? Yeah. Let me know if it was. Am I connecting the two? I'll be supporting you always. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You were there, all of them. Yeah, I know you're a super fan. Yeah. I remember we talked about it a bit. Yeah. And that's great. And appreciate you following me on my channel now. And hope you enjoying the content. And I would love to go back to Singapore. It's been too long. Yeah, I think the last time I was there was Superlek. It's meant to be Superlek and Rodtang. Rodtang pulled out. But yeah, it's been March 2023 for me last time. So over a year, nearly 2 years. I miss it. I do enjoy Singapore. Those shows are very fun. The arena's nice. I would love to see it again. Story of the fight. See you later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. As always, can't wait for the Singapore return officially. I know Louis wants it. Some updates on Takaru. Dick is asking. No update. I don't know. I guess they're waiting for that fight with Rodtang. I expect that card to happen in March, and they'll announce that soon. It might be April. Oh, at this point, one's worst enemy is the scales, Chummy Boy says. I don't know, everyone kind of makes a huge deal out of it every month when people fail hydration or they miss weight, but I think it it is obviously bad, but the system's there. If you fail it, it's the fighter's fault. It's not like one. I think the fighters had grounds to complain a couple months ago whenever one kind of switched up those rules slightly. Do you remember they had these weird rules about giving money to charity if you passed or failed hydration in the second hour? I don't know what, I can't remember, but it was just weird, uh, very convoluted. But these are the rules have been in place for more than 2 years now. So if you're still failing hydration, it's on them. So I wouldn't blame one for it. It's what they do. It's the reality. You got to get used to it. Makes for exciting weigh-ins, but sometimes affects cards. But they do their best to keep the fights on the cards at catch weights. Um, Luckily, yeah, like I said earlier, none of the title fights fell apart. Connor thinks Christian Lee should fight in Singapore, not Thailand. Yeah, a bit weird. Having Christian in Lumpini, I do feel like Singapore is his place. A lot of his big moments have happened there. Both his title wins were at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. And I know they tried to put him on there earlier this year. That was the plan, I think. But that event didn't happen. Yeah, or Atlanta. Connor's still salty about Atlanta. Rain asking a weird question. No questions are weird. Well, how did you feel when you're interviewing Nabil? He and Jonas are my favorite fighters I saw. He was towering over you. Yeah, I get a bit of crick in my neck every time I interview Nabil. No, he's cool. He's really nice. I don't think I've ever spoken to Jonas, but Nabil is very cool, nice guy. Very polite. I think been brought up really well. He's just a gentleman and a superstar in the making, I think. And yeah, it's a bit funny the height difference, but he's going to be like that with most people in the world, especially in Thailand. I've stood next to taller fighters and interviewed them, like Roman quickly. We always joke whenever we do that, and Roman's nice enough to sit down when we chat. But yeah, it's pretty bit of a stretch, love the mic. Uh, the Ritter was always quite tough as well. Big gangly Dutchman. Yeah, it's all fun. We did a fake face off one time. Everyone loves to do the face off with Nabil. I think it could get really annoying for him probably to have people always trying to joke about your height, but he never reacts badly or he's never grumpy about it. He's always got a smile on his face. He's a nice kid. Still so young, 20 years old, incredible. I just hope he don't grow anymore, please. I said the same in our interview. I don't think my neck can take that. Yeah, Chummy Boy says, just realized this MMA card is going to be in a ring again. Yeah, a few MMA fights this weekend and in a ring. I talked about it on my preview, how I didn't really like it. And I think it's going to suffer. The main event's going to suffer because of it, because Rasilov's going to try and hold Lee against the ropes, I think. Well, he's going to try and take him down. I think Lee's going to stuff his takedowns, and then it's going to be a lot of awkward pushing against the ropes and the ring posts. And maybe Herb, if it's Herb, is going to get his cards out again. It's going to be slow it down, awkward. I hope not. Who would be next for Roman Combat Sports? They asked. Well, it's not going to be Radio Pacic. That news broke yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. Maybe today. My brain's fried. That Radio Pacic has gone from one championship. Very sad, and that's been the fight to make for 2 years now, maybe more. I hope he ends up coming back. But look, one's not really putting money into kickboxing now. A lot of the guys they signed, when they went on that kickboxing splurge a few years ago, starting to leave. I think they came in on high purses. Reality is, one's paying, Muay Thai is their thing. The MMA is starting to come back now, but yeah, if you want to get fights in one, it's best to be based in Thailand and to probably do Muay Thai. And I don't think Roman is based in Thailand and does Muay Thai, but his purse is pretty hefty. Well, he's not based in Thailand, but he trains out here for fights. Uh, but yeah, hopefully Roman's not let go. But he's got two belts. I think he's got a heavyweight Muay Thai belt, got a light heavyweight kickboxing Grand Prix title. I think I'm not sure if he has a light. I can't remember. He has a light heavyweight title itself. Not sure there's a division. Yeah, Giannis is 17. I hope to see him in one soon. He's real good looking too. Yeah, the Bill's pretty handsome guy. Yeah, very stylish. I'm sure Giannis will be here soon. Seems to be the plan. Who's going to win, Lee and or Rasulov? Zhezhou Traitor says, I'll go with Christian Lee. Yeah, I mean Rasulov looked pretty strong, but Christian Lee's strong as well, and he's very explosive. If it just depends if Christian has any ring rust, if he has an off night. I don't think he will. I think after that loss to Okrayun, he went away, really worked on his cardio as well. He just looked like a machine, a man possessed in that Okrayun rematch. I'm sure he's going to be prepared for this. Rain asking, what's your take on so many fighters leaving one recently? I was quite sad when I saw Monkey left. Yeah, I think it's just like we're saying. If you've got a contract from the old days and you're on a lot of money, we saw MMA is not getting fights, last year, and it's starting to come back now. But if you've got a big purse, when one could put on 10 Muay Thai fights for the same price as one MMA fight or whatever, it makes economical sense. And their big thing right now is to be profitable. They do talk about that a lot. And I think, they want to balance the books, cut down costs and things like that. Getting reinvestment is also key. And I think they have received some more investment from Qatar recently, it sounds like. Well, they just announced the Qatar show for February. But Bloomberg, I think it was reported, they got a nearly 50 mil from Qatar. And I think since then, you've seen a few MMA guys have come back into the fold a bit. Buchecha, Andrade. But yeah, I think unless there's another huge injection of 150 million or something like that, they may just kind of quietly let some of the people on bigger purses go. And I think it's just a reality of the modern combat sports landscape where a lot of people are suffering. The modern economy is pretty bad, unless you're the UFC, who have got kind of unlimited resources now, and they're making a play for grappling. That's why they've taken Mikey, and I'm sure they'll come after some other big name grapplers. And yeah, if you're not the UFC and you're a combat sports property, it's tough at the moment. You've got to be realistic. I think PFL looks like they're also feeling the pinch a bit, cutting costs. Bellator fighters are starting to grumble similarly, saying they're not getting booked and events are being cancelled. I've seen a few Bellator events, a few more have been cancelled recently. New Year's Eve one, I think, and Paris was cancelled. Yeah, it's tough times if you want to be in combat sports. I know a few other promotions also are struggling. I'm hoping one, obviously, can ride through it because I want to cover it. But I think the way forward for one, it's a no-brainer, is to go all in on Muay Thai. I say it a lot, and dabble in the MMA and kickboxing. Always, I'm not. I say it again. I'm not a huge grappling fan, and I think a lot of the grapplers come with big purses as well. So I'd rather see those resources pushed into MMA and kickboxing and Muay Thai. But is what it is. Grappling's not going to go away. It's here to stay. Uh, yeah, I had dinner with Ray Flores last night, and the commentator. We were just kind of fantasy booking. We came up with an event. I think it's a great idea. We called it Muay Thai Mania. You'd have it once a year in the whatever that national football stadium here in Thailand is. If there's some kind of 40,000 seat venue, something like that, an outdoor stadium, Raja Mangala, is that right? 50,000, plus. You could do. It's basically like the concept of WrestleMania, and you saw what that did for WWF back in the day. Uh, you just throw everything into that. You book Rod Tang versus Super Leg 2 main event, and then you go from there, and you have all the biggest Thai celebrities all there. You do tie-ins, things like that. Just spectacles, like get that. What's her name? Lisa from Blackpink, do a halftime show kind of thing. Maybe we were just enjoying ourselves too much on the steak, but well, yeah, we thought this is a fun concept. I think that would be something that could really be an annual spectacle for them, and it would just bring a lot of eyes and money to Thailand. But what do I know? Maybe it's a stupid idea. Maybe it's impossible as well. I'm sure it's not cheap to run that stadium. But I really think that could put one championship on the map. And, like Ray was saying, what the UFC did with the Sphere, saying it's a love letter to Mexico. You could say this is our love letter to Thailand and Muay Thai. Big annual show, Muay Thai Mania, once a year. Make it the place to be. And if whenever high season starts, November, December, the weather cools off a bit, people will fly in for that, and you do a full week of events. You have a convention, you have like you meet the fighters, things like that, tie-ins with other big local events, really build it up. I think that would be cool, but I'm sure the numbers would be pretty astronomical. But you can make money from it too. Anyway, gonna go off that tangent. Connor's Corner says it's a great idea, but one would ultimately fumble it. Chester would love to see it. Yeah, that's baby steps first. I think one maybe got to start with doing a few more impact arena shows first. But that's got to be the dream. You got to aim big, and I think it's a huge opportunity to kind of aspire to. But as Wade says here, one should focus on Muay Thai and MMA. I agree. Nobody is left for Quicklier. Chester says they should let him go. I don't want them to, but what's the point? Yeah. Wade says, how do I get your job? But for UFC, do I need education or just a social media presence? UFC, I used to cover UFC on SCMP, and but what I think in the landscape's changed since I did that, and yeah, there's not many serious jobs covering the UFC out there. It's very hard to get combat sports jobs, to be honest. A lot of it is just people starting up their own things, and then some of them will blow up enough that you can make a living off it, maybe, or there's a recent trend of influencers, of course, and I'm starting to straddle that line a bit. But my bread and butter is going to be my reporting. I'm lucky enough to have landed a gig with Bangkok Post. I kind of went the serious journalist route, studied journalism for 6 months. Did a fast track diploma course in London after I finished university, and then I got a job on a sports press agency. Did my time there. Then I did 5 years at ESPN in the UK, and I started building myself up there. Moved to Hong Kong with South China Morning Post. Um, Things are just all kind of aligned. I don't know how I ended up doing this as a job, or I often wonder that. Yeah, a lot of things just all happened, and here we are. That's kind of created this thing that I'm not sure how I've done it, but here we are, and it's really fun. It's probably the best job in the world. You know, it's hard. Some days like this, it's busy, but it's fun. It just doesn't feel like work. Just getting to talk to people like you guys is awesome, and I'm amazed that anyone actually wants to listen to what I say. Thank you all so much, and let's keep it going. I'm crazy seeing the amount of growth this channel's had, and my Facebook's had, my Instagram had in the last 3 months, pretty much since I went on my own a bit. I was doing stuff with Sports Kita this year, but from start of September, I kind of moved all my social presence to my own channels, and they're really exploding. I don't know how. I don't know what happened. I got lucky with some algorithm stuff and some nice people sharing my stuff. It's kind of made things snowballing. Shout out One Lumpen EFC again, that he got the ball rolling there. Things just happened, and I'm grateful, and I'm excited to see where we can go with it. Anyway, back to the comments. Chummy Boy says, I'm just worried they'll do all the good Muay Thai matches with the current roster in 2 years, then have no fights left to sell. Well, I think they're building. The good thing is they have an ecosystem now, Friday Fights, which creates new stars for them, and it's created stars in Muay Thai. You're seeing them reap that benefit now. Kong Torani, the Crow both come through there. Nabil come through there. Half of this card, I bet you'd be surprised. You look at the card on Saturday, and let me do it now. I'll bring it on screen. This could be a fun experiment. Share screen. There it is. Who came through Friday Fights? None of these guys. Nabil, not the grapplers, not Reese or Jared. Oh god, maybe this isn't a good thing to compare. Nakrob and Kong Torani. Yeah, pretty much just those guys. Tung Poon, yeah. So 4 people on the card. That's pretty cool. Maybe in a couple of years, the Fight Night cards, they're still around, are going to be 6, 7, 8 people come through their system. And I think you see that in the UFC, Dana White's Contender Series. More and more of their big cards are going to be built of people, homegrown talent, as they say. And if they can get that going with MMA, I think that's the plan, and even grappling and kickboxing. You're going to have this self-sustaining ecosystem of people on lower purses than bringing in people outside, which helps you kind of balance the books and keep everything running, and you grow from there. Fighters, if they get successful, if they get more wins, they'll build their own name, they'll get more money, goes up and up. It's a self-sustaining ecosystem. Yeah. Muay Thai Mania, Chester, yes, can be done for Friday Fights 250. It should work out to around 5-year anniversary of Friday Fights. Yeah, I'd love to see it sooner than that, but better late than never. Pet Gija, after the drama, still no fight, by the way. Turn into coach now, sad. Chummy Boy says, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Pet Gija. I thought she'd be on this Friday Fight tempo in December. She's not, it seems like. A bit of drama, yeah, with her at Venom. NG, what's up? How's it going on the ground? Yeah, all good. Busy. Never stops. Thanks for tuning in. Connor's Corner says, with Friday Fight shows, they're never going to run out. New superstars coming out of Friday Fights all the time now. Yeah, I agree. Sorry, belching. Just looking at comments here. Tetsuya says more Thai fight stars will join one next year, such as PTT, Veronica, Tengduan. It will be more interesting next year for sure. So maybe Nadaka and Danny Rodriguez from RWS2. Yes, exactly. I think one is poaching people from Japan. Japan's becoming a big market for them, and it makes sense. Yeah, I think focus on Thailand and Japan. Qatar, if that's gonna be a market, it's worth it because comes with a cash injection. US, I think I would just park the expansion on that. Maybe do one show a year out in Denver. I just think I don't know if there's any point going too aggressive in the US because you're never going to compete with UFC until you get all your ducks in a row. I think in Asia first, truly take over Thailand and get some solid footing in Japan. Then maybe you can try and export 4-ounce Muay Thai to the US in the right way. But it's not cheap, right? It's costs a lot of money to get things going there. So I would focus more on just ruling Thailand. And I think that's working, right? 2 years of Friday fights. It's crazy to think how much progress that product's made, and it's changed everything in one. Yeah. Anyway, did you meet PTT? He was with Nabil the whole time. I saw him. Yeah, I didn't say hello. I don't really know him, so I felt a bit like I shouldn't chat. Maybe I'll say hello tomorrow. But yeah, I I've noticed him around. He's got the crazy hair, right? I think it's green or something. Yeah, he was there tonight. There's always people I just don't even realize who they are as well. And then you're like, oh, yeah. It's a whirlwind. But no, I didn't say hello. I think I had a couple of maybe actually today, yeah, we had when you nod at someone and they're not really sure if you know each other, but you just nod anyway. Maybe I'll be interviewing him soon. I'd like that. That'd be good if these names all come over. I know Veronica is pretty much nailed on the sign. Myanmar, yeah, crazy numbers for them there. Not sure they can go to Myanmar and do shows, but still get the fans tuning in, and a lot of them live here or in the neighboring on the border. They can come down to Lumpini and Impact Arena if you put on the Burmese fighters like they're doing in January. Great idea. PTT is a very big star in Thailand. I'm sure he's going to be the next big star in one. Tetsuya says he already has 2 million followers on social media. Damn, I should have interviewed him, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Let me just. Yeah, I did see this guy this week. I think he was at the weigh-ins tonight. Yeah, the green hair. Yeah. I'll try and say hello tomorrow properly. Do a bit of networking. Thank you for the tip, Tetsuya. Oh, he can barely speak English apparently. It's rain, so not a good idea to say hi. Constantly dyed his hair different colors. He had pink hair one, like Fabricio Andrade. Huh? Last time I saw Andrade, no hair dye. He says he'll have something for the fight. Chubby Boy doubts PTT could stay dominant though. Less can crushing work in one. Who knows? I'm sure they'll give him a nice fight first up if he comes over. He's a super big personality though, says NG he runs some food stalls and gives out free food on fight days sometimes. That's cool. Hopefully, I wouldn't mind some free food. I had some. Went to the canteen at Lumpini today to fight face-offs. Had a nice rice with pork and the egg on top. Forget the name, cat something. I'm really bad with Thai pronunciation, but it was delicious. Very spicy too. Wade not happy with the hydration test, as it's dumb. Just another way to stop the fight from happening and a way to save money by fining fighters. I don't know if it's designed to save money. They brought this in when they went to Amazon Prime. I mean, they've had the hydration test for a long time, but they kind of really it started getting stricter with it. They used to let people come back and weigh in on the day of the fight. But ever since they went to Prime Video, they've brought these current set of rules in, where it was a bit different at first. You would have a 3-hour window, and you could come back for, I can't remember, but it's just what they do, right? They have hydration tests because they don't want to have really bad weight cuts, and they sell that as one of their big selling points, to investors, to network, to whatever. That we don't do dangerous weight cuts, and that's one of the things. Other people will say they fighters get around it, and Derrida was saying that at his UFC pipe bomb press conference, that there's cheating and this is the system. Could it be improved? Yeah, 100%. I'd love to see certain things get improved. I'd love to see the results of they do weigh-ins after the fights, and if you're more than 5%, you get a fine, and or as a warning, then a fine, then a suspension, I think, if you fail 3 times. So I'd love to see those results. They made it public once after, I think, one on Prime Video 3 or 4 in Singapore. And it was interesting just seeing, they have you have to sign a sheet as well. You step on a scale, and I remember Tiffany Teo got a warning because she was like way more than I think she was 10% over. Marat got a warning because he was more than 5% over. I'd love to see that be public. I'd love to see pre and post fight drug testing, and make results publicly available. I'd love to see out of competition testing rigorously applied. I'd love to see a pound allowance at weigh-ins. I think, or half a pound. There'd be so many of these scenarios wouldn't be an issue if that was the case. I mean, how many times have we seen fights or fighters, miss by half a pound, or within that? A lot of the time, tonight I think wouldn't have been applicable because Dennis was 3 pound over, and I think Mahmoudi was hovering at 139 after drinking a bunch of water. I can't remember what Petchtanong was, but there have been a few cards, when we could have still saved a few belts from being stripped, I think. And hydration, maybe we could have a little allowance there as well, like, what is it, 0.0250, maybe you could go up another decimal, 0.5 or whatever, 10, I don't know. Just, I don't think anyone would begrudge them if that was the case, right? Nabati's a bad matchup for all the Thais, Tetsuya says. His footwork is too good. That was in response to Chummy Boy asking someone like Nabati. Oh, I've missed the Nabati chat, but there's people talking about Nabati. I don't know in what relation to. Rain asking, any idea what happened to the open weight Grand Prix? Yeah, it just never happened. It was seriously under consideration, and I think there was kind of a rough idea to have two brackets, like kind of like I think the Craig Jones Invitational had the certain weight, the higher weight than the lower weight. I think that was a rough plan, but so you're going to have Rodtang versus Crickler, you know what I mean? In the end, I just think it's would have been incredible to see, but it's maybe a bit self-defeating because, yeah, you may end up sacrificing some of your biggest stars to take a very punishing knockout loss to another star. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of it in the beginning. It caused a lot of buzz, and I think that was maybe the initial plan. And then when you follow through on it and do the logistics, it doesn't really work, to be honest. The featherweight one, Combat Sports Today. I think again that was more realistic, but kind of got held up because Chingiz Alazov was in limbo. Still is, I guess, and I think Chatri wants Chingiz in that tournament and was trying to convince him to come back and defend his belt. And then Super Bon got the interim belt. This is a complete mess. I don't think it'll happen now. It's a shame. Is Nabil and Petch off? I don't think so. Petchtanong was, just waiting around about an hour ago in the lobby to do his hydration test. And I think Nabil will say yes, get some of his money. And I think Petchtanong has a decent purse because he's been around a while. And why not? It's kind of this whole fight's just a no-lose situation for Nabil, right? It's a free hit. Less danger of getting knocked out, I think, and bigger gloves. He's not expected to win. If he does win, he might put himself in the mix for a title shot. Yeah, win-win for him. Official Louis, what your favorite places one's been to? I love Manila. It's always fun. Been a while since we were there. I think 2 years ago. Singapore. I hate to. Looks like I'm kissing up to you, but yeah, I love Singapore. Just different, you know. Where else? I kind of enjoyed. I went to Malaysia a couple times. I enjoyed that. Kuala Lumpur. Didn't really like the stadium though, but I like the place itself. KL is cool. Where else have I been? I've been to Bangkok a lot now. I think weirdly, actually, the 167 may have been my first Impact Arena card. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Superbon and Chingiz. Yeah, I never actually went to Impact before COVID. I'm forgetting Tokyo, of course. Yeah, I really loved going to. I mean, the Ariake Arena was cool last time for Super League and Takaru, but it was much bigger arena. But Ariake is kind of out a little bit far out if you know your Tokyo geography. I really loved the arena they ran the first couple times in 2019, the Sumo Hall, Ryogoku Kokugikan. I hope I pronounced that right. Just like that is a real venue with just smells of history, and it's just got so much atmosphere and very charming. It's kind of what like Lumpini. You know, they say Lumpini is the Madison Square Garden of Asia, and it's the famed Lumpini Stadium, and do love Lumpini. Yeah, it's cool. It's got vibe. It's got character, but I feel like Sumo Hall is it's not hyperbole when you talk about Sumo Hall. It does have that century plus, the tradition. I'm sure the old Lumpini Stadium had that as well. I really wish they were still where Lumpini Stadium, first was in Lumpini. in central Bangkok. I would love for One Championship and the army to somehow pick that up from where it is now by the army's base, move it back to Lumpini Park. That would be so much easier for everyone. We could all stay in central Bangkok. We're kind of, again, we're out far. I don't know if you watch the shows, you may not, and you don't go to Thailand, maybe you don't know, but we're not actually in Bangkok. Really, we're in Nonthaburi, which is about 40 minutes out, half an hour out. On a good day with no traffic, or at night. So it is quite far, and there's not much around. And I think it would be great if one, could have a venue in town like that, because I think you'd find it much easier to get tourists in, and you'd probably get more uh, partnerships, sponsorships, revenue deals, things like that. But they're still doing incredibly well out here, and the fact they can pack the stadium still is great, because it means you have a product people want to come and watch. Yeah, I just would love to be in town, a bit close to town, because I love central Bangkok. It's got a great vibe. Other favorite places, or where have I been? Denver. Yeah, kind of love Denver. Um, that Denver Nuggets arena was great. The Ball Arena, that was a great stadium. Real top notch stuff. Just modern infrastructure. Yeah, I do miss the stadium shows. When you get the Ethernet cable, whatever it's called, the big blue cable, you can plug straight into your laptop, and you get super fast Wi-Fi. Yeah, and you've got these concession stands. I love getting my popcorn out and Lumpini and stuff, but yeah, it's a bit annoying when you're trying to upload videos and there's no Wi-Fi in the stadium, and the data just freezes and shuts down whenever there's, like, maybe it's a packed house, you just cannot get your phone going, you can't upload anything. It's just data dies. I hope that's answered your question, though, Louis. I went off on a tangent. Yeah, Tokyo probably my favorite place. Manila. Would love to go back to both soon. Wasn't a huge fan of Qatar, Doha, but I wouldn't mind going back again. Problem with that was the stadium was so far out in the desert, about a 45-minute drive, something, if I remember correctly, maybe a half hour, might be closer. But it was just kind of really in the middle of nowhere, the stadium. And I love a stadium when you just walk there. That was cool about Manila is the Mall of Asia arena is the Mall of Asia. You've got all these awesome. It's just full of people, all these great restaurants and things, and outlets, and just a lot of buzz, a lot of atmosphere. And you walk right to the arena. Uh, anyway, I have gone on a tangent there. Let me try and get back into these comments. Yeah, Chummy Boy knows. You got to drive from Bang Na to it. Yeah, it's far away. Muay Man Meme, what's up? Night Watcher Nick. Yeah, I'm staying up quite late doing the chat. Shout out to Muay Man Meme. Another great page. If you don't follow already, go follow Muay Man Meme on Facebook. Some funny stuff there. Yeah, really enjoy the content, and a very nice guy. Met him last month at the press conference, I think, for 169. Anyway, comments. Wait, how the girls in Asia in your travels? I bet you're slaying. I'm not actually. I mean, I have a girlfriend. She is from China. Don't know if that counts in this slaying analogy. I mean, I'm not slaying at all. I'm slaying the work. Wait, yeah, but yeah, no one wants this chin and this flabby belly. Got to get back in the gym. No. What else next? Why are they putting? Why? Yeah, why they put grabbing in 170? I hope they put them. Oh, grappling. I think mean Chummy Boy. I hope they put them early. I don't want to interrupt the hype. Yeah, so they've added a grappling matchup to 170. Of course, I thought it would happen. I can't remember what the fight is. It's this legend who they've signed. Garcia versus Imanari. Yeah, I mean, if you're a grappling fan or whatever, I think that is quite a cool matchup. I know some people are excited for it, so I don't think it's going to connect at all with the Thai audience in Bangkok. Like one iota. That's the problem. This kind of thing would work really well on a all grappling event. Hype it up, as I always say. But I'll watch it, and I'm sure it'll be fun. I imagine it'll be quite early on that card there. Uh, Let me see comments. Oh, Wade was being sarcastic. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not slaying anything. Um, yeah, I'm not exactly a ladies' man, Wade. Maybe back in my day, I used to be a lot thinner. Was 66 kilos once upon a time, around about 2015, 16. Yeah, I mean 2016 was the last time I was ever thin. Well, I've dropped down a few times since then. But only when I do keto, and I can kind of get quite thin again. But I tend to pile it all back on straight away as soon as I stop keto. Trying at the moment to be like establish more longer term habits, like you know, I'm working out again now. I've done 2.5 months of fairly consistent gym work, and problem is it tends to make me eat more. So I've bulked up a lot, and not all muscle. Yeah, so I need to eat. I still need to eat better. Yeah, but I think the days are long gone of me getting anywhere close to 66 kilos. I'm north of 90 now. I think. I would love to get down to 80. See what I look like at 80. Not sure though. 85. I'll take 85 right now. How do you get a media pass for one event? Louis asks. There's an application form. I can send it to you if you want. There is registration. Yeah, you fill in. It's a lot less stringent. I would always say than the UFC credentials, which can often be a pain in the ass. Just trying to get a seat in the house, and then you often be trumped by some influencer or something. But uh, yeah, one's pretty open for media. You know, it's pretty straightforward to get a pass. And if you're ever in town, Louis, definitely. If you've got any kind of outlet or a page, yeah. I don't know if you do. They should do MMA with no cage. ONE FC should do it to stand out. Wade says. Um, I don't know. You kind of need a cage. You need something like a wall. Uh, I've got a weird thing where I love the 4 ounce Muay Thai in a cage. I think it sort of adds to that whole. If you talk about one standing out, 4 ounce Muay Thai is the way they stand out, but this that kind of optics of having it in the cage as well takes it to another level of barbarism. When you see the chain link fence and those tiny gloves, yeah, it adds to it. I think that's how you stand out if you're one. I always loved the circle, as they call it, more than the ring. The MMA and the ring just don't really work. Uh, Wade wants to be a UFC or one media member. I've got better questions, and the same old ones they have to keep answering. Oh, you do. Yeah, there's not a lot of great questions in when I see UFC media. It's kind of some of the people they let in there now are crazy. You know, I like to think I would ask better questions, but I'm sure you would, Wade. Uh, I will say, yeah, Louis, 100%. If you, I can pass on the link. MMA in a ring is trash, says Connor. Yeah, I tend to agree. I wouldn't say it's trash, but it just don't work for me. Yeah, yeah. I'm worried about some of these fights this weekend because they could be kind of grapple heavy. Um, Dick is. Have you ever received incentive from one to be covering exclusively their league? No, I've just never been offered jobs, by outlets to cover other organizations. I'm always open for work, but I kind of like being the one guy. I decided a while ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, because back then I used to cover UFC, one, PFL, and other things, boxing. I was trying to do everything, be like a combat sports, but I think it was when I was in Phuket for 2 months. I was stranded during COVID, couldn't get home to Hong Kong, and I was kind of living right next to Bang Tao Gym, and they had just opened their gym, and I was training there every day, and not Muay Thai or anything, just doing like CrossFit stuff and bit of jujitsu, and yeah, I've met a lot of fighters, interviewed Superbon there, and Shannon Werchai, Andrade. Um, it's kind of light bulb went off in my head, and around that time, I started doing an Instagram, SCMP Martial Arts. You may know them. That was my baby. I created that and built it up for 2 years, maybe longer. I can't remember now. I mean, the whole thing I'd been doing was 5 years, SCMP, MMA, YouTube. I started in 2019, and the Instagram. I think I started the Instagram around 2019. I didn't take it seriously till 2022, 2021, something like that. But yeah, just kind of light bulb went off my head. I was like, there's no one out there just who is exclusively doing one. And I could see that Instagram was people responding to my one content way more than my UFC stuff. Because when you cover UFC, you're sort of shouting into the void a bit. There's so many people covering it already, and how am I going to do it better than them or different from them? And you see people who are now getting big covering UFC just doing niches, right? Like some of them, like the Schmo and Nina drama, whatever. You kind of have to do that. I just thought, this is I can bring something to the table that no one is doing covering one. I've got serious journalism background, got qualification. I've worked on major national, international desks, sport desks for 10 plus years. I've got like proper training, proper background, proper journalistic skills and instincts, and no one. I looked at the media that were covering one. I was like, they don't have a kind of proper mainstream outlet covering them, and I can just do this. I just did it off my own back on SCMP, and it worked. We were getting big numbers, and I'd kind of seen it growing for 2 years already by that point, and I just thought, screw it, I'm gonna kind of go all in on this. It's a way to grow my brand myself because it's hard to just be the guy who does everything, right? But if you're the one guy, there was no one guy at the time. I would consider myself the guy who covers one, Sure, there's some others are popping up now, but I would hope I'm the original, and I still want to be the best. Um, and it's a passion for me. I love the product, and warts and all. I criticize it. I call a spade, while trying to still stay in the good books because it's combat sports. You can't be too critical. We know what happens. It's uh it's not something like it's access, isn't it? It's access based, so I can't be too excoriating in my uh, criticism. But I try to call a spade, and be real. I try to be fair. That's my main thing. I try not to. I think a lot of people just like to shit on one. It's a popular thing to do. It's like the cool thing to do, but I like to see the positives as well. And I think they've been putting on great stuff. And also, it's fun. It's more fun for me to cover something that isn't perfect than something that is perfect or extremely popular. And I'd rather see something that grows and potentially could be this huge thing, right? It's way more fun. And the other things is it's in my backyard. I live in Hong Kong, and there's events every month in the rough vicinity of Southeast Asia mostly, and usually Bangkok. Easy to get to. Not easy to get to America every month for the UFC. Impossible, I would say. And UFC don't come out here too often. PFL don't come out here too often. Other organizations don't come out here at all. PFL's never been out here, I think. But yeah, I'd much rather cover one. I just kind of like it. It's my thing. It's my for my sins. I love doing it, and it's cool because I've connected with the audience. Look at this chat and this stream. There's people watching and interacting, and I don't think that community kind of existed before. I'm trying to build that into something much bigger, and I don't think anyone else was interested in doing that, or could have done it, or had the drive, passion, skill, ability, interest, uh, effort to want to do it. So that's anyway. I've gone on a huge tangent there. Um, hope that answers it somewhat. But yeah, man, I just love it. Um, and I've been to UFC shows before, and I've had fun. I've had a good time. I've been to some UFC shows. Even when I was working with South China Morning Post, was like the biggest uh, newspaper, English language newspaper in Asia, and I didn't even get a seat in the arena. And in the media room, I was in the back row behind a pillar. I couldn't see anything. When I come to one, I feel like I'm important and I matter, and I get good access. I get anything I want really, because they trust me. They know I'm fair. I'm not gonna be a dick to them, and I just love the access in one. I can from my network that I've built. I'm able to pick up my phone and text like a large chunk of the roster, and just ask them a question if I want a quote for an article. And it's just network and contacts I've built up over years, and that doesn't exist in UFC, right? I don't think there's many people. There are some, and hats off to them, who can just pick up their phone and Conor McGregor's on the other end of the phone, or maybe a bad example right now. Uh, John Jones, well, maybe that's a bad example. You know what I mean? But it is just, I find for me, a more attainable thing. Just curious, but were there any fighters who were really rude or disrespectful to you or the team? Rain says. Because says Anissa Mekison. Anissa's fine. I think we're okay. Who's been rude? I'm trying to think. I mean, generally, no, and that's another reason, to go back to this tangent I was on and why I love covering one and have kind of chosen do that path. I find the fighters are so much more down to earth and humble, and they kind of love getting the promotion that I will bring them, and they love interacting, and it's way harder to kind of get that relationship going. I find when I covered other sports, I'm not just saying like covering the UFC. When I covered tennis, football, you cannot really get as close to those athletes. I find it incredibly fun. Just what other organization can you just go to? Like, Superbond's gym is 10-minute drive or whatever down from this hotel, and 20-minute maybe, and you can just park up there, and you're going to see 4 or 5 world class superstars in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and they're not arrogant assholes who aren't going to say hello to you. They're actually probably have a nice long conversation with you and let you interview them, and that's why I love it. Yeah, not many people have been rude. I really struggle. I struggle to think of any. Uh, I mean, there's been a couple people who were maybe a little bit harder to get close to, like Eddie Alvarez wasn't very approachable. I mean, he was still nice when I interviewed him and that, but he came from that UFC bubble, I think, where they're a bit more protected and they don't kind of interact with the peasants like us, the media, too much. DJ was pretty down to earth though, and I had a few chats with him, just not even about fighting. We just would talk about video games for 20 minutes in the lobby. And I had a story of the fight jumped off the chat earlier, but he was in Denver, Will and Miro, those guys, story of the fight. And there was I'm not an NFL guy, but there was a match, you call it a match on, I think it was the Atlanta Falcons, I don't know, but some kind of American football game was on, and they were just talking to DJ about American football for 20 minutes, half an hour. That's incredible to me. I think that's why DJ fit in more than Eddie Alvarez maybe in one. He kind of just had that approachability, down to earth, even though he's like probably he's a relative superstar, isn't he? He's on a lot more money than he's on more money than all the roster, but he never acted like it. But anyone rude? I don't think so. And even if they were rude, I can understand sometimes, given the pressure they're under, especially during fight week, you're going to make weight and things like that, or it's such a high pressure thing. And I would never begrudge, even if someone was rude, I wouldn't begrudge them, because I'm sure they didn't mean to be. I could be touchy as well when I'm flat out working all week and I'm doing endless stuff. I mean, I was pretty grumpy at the airport when I landed here because I got in at about midnight, and I was very tired. I've been working a lot before three days in a row before that, and I was hungry, and and there's a screaming baby on the flight right in front of me, and the whole flight. And Hong Kong doesn't. There's another tangent. Hong Kong doesn't have Burger King anymore, really. So every time I come to Thailand, I crave a Burger King at the airport, even if it's midnight. So I purposely won't eat the food on the plane, and that's a plus anyway because it's terrible. But then I'll try and get a Burger King when I land. I got to Burger King at the airport, and they have no burgers. I was like, that's crazy. Uh, it was 12:30 at that point. Then I went to KFC, and they had no chicken. No original recipe chicken, and I'd already ordered on the machine. So then they said, "Oh, you can replace it with the spicy one." I was like, "I don't want the spicy one." Me and spice don't go well together. And I, they said, "Oh, well, you could wait 50 minutes." And I said, 15. I said, no, 50, 50. And so I was just getting a little bit touchy and grumpy. And I said, well, just give me my money back then. And they said, well, we can't give you the money for the fries and the Coke you ordered, Pepsi Max, sorry. So I thought, well, I don't really want those on their own. Who just goes to KFC to order that? It's an accompaniment to the chicken, right? So I was getting very grumpy and I kind of got angry at the staff. It's not their fault. And then when I walked away and reflected on that, I was annoyed at myself. But like the tangent is, yeah, we all get worked up sometimes, and if you recognize you were out of order, it's a good lesson to learn, and hopefully you can apologize to people. I hope maybe I can go back to that Burger King or KFC in the airport and say sorry, and hopefully they have chicken that time though. Dickers, again, you mentioned Nina and Shmo. Who inspires you? How you respect the most among combat sports journalists? Easy answer. I love John Morgan. More on him in a second. I love Brett. Not Brett. I mean, I do like Brett. I don't know him very well. Kind of briefly worked with him at ESPN, but not like directly. I love Aaron Bronstetter. I think he's the best in the business. Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell as well. I used to work with Brian more at ESPN. We did some stuff on wrestling and MMA together. He's really cool. I'm so glad to see him, his career really taking off. Yeah, those guys. John Morgan, love. It was a pleasure to meet him in Denver last year. He's just a total knowledge fountain, not just of MMA, but like the way watching him, the way he goes about his business is priceless. Uh, hopefully I wasn't too obvious in it, but I was just kind of observing him in fight week and seeing how he does things, and total dude as well, just hilarious, funny. Yeah, it's a shame he wasn't at the show in September. Do you get free merch from one? Used to get they used to give out like a pack at each event. Um, and you get like a T-shirt in it, and it wasn't the best stuff. You get like a mask as well, a face mask during COVID. You get a cap. I've never really worn any of it. I had one shirt that I really liked. Like it was a vest. It was a white vest. Really like that. I just can't fit in it anymore. I'm too fat, but I like that. I wore it a lot. Can't remember where I picked that up. I think I may have ordered that. I may have even bought it myself. 'Cause they often have the stalls at the shows. No, I don't really get merch. They stopped giving it out willy nilly at some point, and then started charging for it. But I know they still send stuff out to some people. Uh, they used to make some really cool shirts, but it's not. It's all become a bit basic now. I think, not saying that it's bad stuff. It's just the designs are not very adventurous. It's like they used to have some cool like art. I'm trying to describe it like drawings. That's not the way to describe it, but you'd have like the Demetrius Johnson T-shirt, and each fighter would have specific T-shirts. Now it's just the merch is also one branded, and that's fine. I do like some of it. I've got a couple of hoodies as well. Yeah, I don't get much stuff, and I wouldn't really wear it anyway. I do have a pair of one socks with me here. That to me, I'm boring. I'm old now. I like socks. Genuinely get excited buying new socks. I never thought I'd be like that. I'm 37 in about a week or two, 10 days. More than that, 12 days. December 18th. But if one was to do a range of underpants that were sweat resistant, I would love that and buy them. But I currently get mine from Uniqlo. Maybe that's an idea for the one shop. What else? Sorry, just going on a crazy tangent here about weird stuff, but people seem to be watching. So tell me if I'm being boring. I can talk about fights briefly again. Louis got the socks. Yeah. You didn't get free belts. No, I asked for a belt um, for the background of my podcast. Said if you could ever kind of, I'll pay for it. I said, but, but they said we don't sell them. Yeah, they don't have them in their shop. There's no replica. Um, Muay man, me, I'm going for a smash burger tomorrow. Get me one, sir. Nicola, if I come to Toronto, you're gonna take me to the best burger places and fried chicken. I'm down, always down. I I do love that kind of stuff. Sadly, too much. But every Friday here, whenever I come, I always go to this place called the Commons in Tonglo. Right after the face-off, so I'll go meet my friend Fei Tung. She is married to Shannon Wirchai, a one championship OG MMA veteran legend. And Shannon comes if he's here as well. We usually meet up, and I go to this fried chicken place in this thing called the Commons. It's called Foul Mouth, and it's like Nashville fried chicken, and it's so good, but also just kills me because it's so spicy, and I actually had to get checked out by Doc Jimmy here, who you may know. Sometimes he does the weigh-ins. He's also one of the ringside doctors, but I had this pain in my abdomen. Like, Doc Jimmy, can you know feel this here? And he's like, yeah, I think that's kidney stones. So he thought I had kidney stones, and so did I briefly. But it turned out I'd just eaten some very spicy chicken, and my whatever my intestine was so inflamed that it was painful. So I should have less fried chicken. Um, what else? You could buy the BMF UFC belt. How much those things cost? Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's $200 US North, something like that, which I don't think I would really want to splash on. It would look cool though in the background. I just wanted it for my because at home, I mean, I'm in the hotel now, but at home I have the posters on the wall behind me. It would look cool. I've got a mantelpiece I could put that on. Connor's got a little, I know you've got a lot of merch, Connor. I've seen your pictures you send me. The Bruce Lee jacket, yeah, that is a cool one. The yellow jacket, I wouldn't mind getting one of those myself. Problem is, I just don't fit into things anymore, especially merch. And I'm very particular with my clothes I buy. Tend to get loose, baggy stuff because I know it's not gonna constrict me, and it's super hot out here in Thailand and Hong Kong, and I sweat a lot, and I don't really want to wear tight clothing too much. If I lost weight, yeah, maybe I'll get myself a Bruce Lee jacket. But I took one look at that jacket and I saw Jared Brooks wearing it and a few others. It's like, that ain't gonna fit me. Um, yeah, Chummy Boy been there as well. It's pretty cool. Commons, yeah. It's they got a bunch of hipster stuff, you know. It's like a craft beer stall and a poke bowl stall and a bunch of things. Yeah, very trendy. It's kind of hard to get to though. You got to walk 20 minutes from the station, and it's pretty hot most of the time here. So I have my big ass bag on my shoulders. I come straight from the face-offs, and I walk out of the face-off venue to the BTS, get on the BTS, go 2 stops, whatever, to Tonglo. All the while, I'm kind of uploading shit, and then do the 20-minute walk to the Commons, uploading other shit. Have some chicken, then hot tail it back to Lumpini. That's my plan for tomorrow, anyway. So will Nabil still fight? Tony asked. I think so. I presume Petchtanong is pissed by now, and probably gonna come in a few pounds heavy because he would have had to chug a whole load of water just to force that urination. Miller's chicken nuggets. Don't know what that is. But, yeah, I've kind of gone off topic for a while, and it's really late now. It's 12:15, so I might have to get going. I guess the bottom line is, yeah, we got a few people missed weight today. I'm having so much fun though. Maybe a couple more comments. Luke Thomas, I like him too. Dickens says, my problem with him and some of the long timers is they tend to be bitter and cynical. Luke, Ariel, many other will often start rounds, be disillusioned. I don't like it. Yeah, I guess I'm sure I will. If I'm not already, I will become bitter and disillusioned and go on runs. It tends to come with the territory for the more seasoned pro journalists. You know, you often break into that mindset of back in my day, it wasn't like this. And I'm sure if I'm still doing this in 10 years, I'll be looking at the new crop of influencers covering one, and I'll be salty about how much more popular they are than me now. I I like Luke. I don't really know Ariel at all, to be honest. I don't really watch stuff much anymore. And that's not me being a hater. It's just I'm super dialed in on one and one championship only. I don't have any time other than it's because I cover one constantly. When I have any free time, I don't want to spend the rest of it watching combat sports. And I know there are some people that'll be in this chat who watch every single thing. And mad respect to that. Your passion is crazy. I would say I'm not a a diehard combat sports fan. I maybe I don't think I've ever been like that level that some of you are, but I was definitely more of an overall combat fan. But I'm I just have passion to cover one. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to tune into every single card. If I got a bit of time off, I'd much rather play video games or try and go to the gym or yeah, hang with my dogs. But I I respect everyone who puts that time in, and absolute legends. A lot of people in the chat are like that. Connor, I know, is Chester. Tetsuya's all over the scene in Thailand, especially. Tetsuya, there's lots of hot girls at the Commons, Tonglo, Tetsuya says. Lots of university students go there. You're making me sound bad, Tetsuya. Like, that's why I go there. I go there for the Nashville chicken. So, I wouldn't even know. Yeah, when I'm there, I'm just always with Shannon Werchai and Bailey, his wife. And we just shoot the shit, talk. It's always great to catch up. I should be seeing them tomorrow. Where's my dog? I'm not at home, vegan. So my dog's back in Hong Kong. He's pretty excited. We just got a Christmas tree delivered. I'll be putting that up when I'm back. What's my new name? Hello, what's your new name, bro? I don't know. What is my new name? Dickens likes Kevin Ioli. Yeah, I saw he's doing his own thing now. More power to him. It's great when anyone can kind of build up such a rapport, connection, network, contacts, trust to go out on their own. And Kevin's one of those who's gone out on his own, and respect to him. Yeah, I was kind of terrified to go out on my own as well this year. I thought I needed the brand as well, and no one was interested in me. They just wanted to watch SCMP or whatever. I The last 3 months have just been very pleasant surprise for me that I can actually build myself up the way I built SCMP up for 5 years, and then yeah, it's just very reassuring to me, and I think I can build myself bigger than anything I ever built there. I'm 100% certain of that now, and that's cool. I wish I'd had that faith, but a lot of people told me for a while at the time. Dom Lau was always saying to me, you should go on your own, dude. And a lot of people were always like, "Oh, you're the Ariel Hawani of one," and very nice compliments, but it's terrifying to actually think about that. Could I do that? And I'm starting to get it going, and that's really cool. Uh, have you booked your flights to Qatar? No, don't remind me. That's a lot of money. Yeah, I'll look into that next week, perhaps. My dog is not a fan of one. I don't think he knows what it is. Yeah, but he likes to come say hello on the podcast. Uh, should we talk about fights? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Maybe I'll just put some fights on screen or some weigh-in stuff. We were meant to talk about weigh-ins, but we've been talking about weird things. But if you care about the weigh-in still, here's Petchnong's miss. Some visual stimulation for you. Reminder if you're tuning in late, yeah, Petchnong missed weight and hydration for his fight with Nabil. Look at this awesome footage that Giuliano took as well. That reminds me, I need to go put up the behind the scenes episode 2. So I think I'll wrap things up here. But if you missed the headline, yes, 3 fighters missed weight at Tanong. Dennis Porch, Elias Mahmoudi. Sounds like the fights will still go ahead though, which is good. Favorite matchup this weekend? Yeah, I can answer that quickly. DiBella, Rui Vitello, looking forward to that. And Contorni, Nakrob as well. A lot of fights this weekend I love. It's a really good card. I've said it a few times this week, but Petchnong Nabil still intrigues me, even though the weight miss. Reese and Jared intrigues me a lot. Yeah, those are my big ones on that card. Because congrats, indeed, I believe that's the move to be your own media outlet. Yeah, I think my kind of whole thing is I still need outlets, right? But I was just scared to be a freelancer. But I'm kind of building my own brand now, and then you take that brand to outlets who want to use you, right, for your coverage because you're the so-called expert or whatever, or you have your audience to bring to them, and that's my whole model now. And I'm loving the Bangkok Post. It's fantastic. I love what I do there. It's a perfect fit for me, with being in Bangkok constantly and Muay Thai's the whole. This is where it is, right? And just the whole setup, the whole team there, great. I love it, and I still love doing my stuff with Sports Kita, my video stuff. Would love to add another outlet or two. Yeah, hopefully in the future we can just do more and more. When are we getting Rodtang to Keru? I think March or April. You outgrew SMP. There's a reason why SMP isn't doing well right now, but you are. I don't even look at it, man. And they can do what they want. Yeah, I left the company on. I met some great people there. Had 7 great years there. Made lifelong friends there. I proved myself that I built something from nothing into something which I'm incredibly proud of. But then it's time to build myself up instead of a brand, and happy for anyone who wants to try and keep that brand. But I want to be the number one brand covering one. I want to be the guy, and I think we're on the road to do it, and it's because of all you guys tuning in and listening to me talk bullshit for 2 hours. I'm coming up on 2 hours, so I will try and wrap it up. But yeah, no, don't want to hate on SCMP. I had good times there, but I think we were sort of just going in different directions, right? And what they wanted, what I wanted, and I wanted to just be full time every day, every waking day. I wanted to wake up and cover one championship. This bizarre life that I live. Um, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And that life just wasn't really possible anymore. Increasingly at SCMP, kind of see it coming for a while, and it just wasn't getting to do what I love every day. I was doing other work which didn't fulfill me, and I think when you do work that doesn't fulfill you, it makes you less happy. It was made me less happy inside. Um, and you only get one life, right? Cliche. I wanted to make something of it, and wanted to leave a something behind is one of my big things. When all is said and done, I really want to look back and be like, I did this thing no one else ever did, and I did it better than anyone. Wouldn't we all have to do that? I think if you have a chance to be the number one at something in the world, you got to strive to do it. But then not everyone wants to do that. Some people want to, and they're well within their rights. They want to do other things. But for me, that's what drives me. I've always been a creative person, and that's kind of my thing here. So it felt like 10 minutes. Yeah, it did. It's really breezed past. But I've got to go. I've got to publish behind the scenes episode 2. So you know, I'll be as soon as I hop off this, I'm going to publish that. So you should all go and watch that. Uh, but thank you. Good to catch up with everyone here. Some great interactions here. I love the community we're starting to build. I just want to build it more and more, and I feel like there's everyone here is respectful, like-minded, uh, just wants to talk about fights, and that's cool. And you can shit on one, you can like one, you can be on the fence. As long as there's debate and we're all respectful, that's cool. Louis says, "You inspire me to explore and study journalism in the future. Would love to work with for you one day." Louis, anything I can do to help you, you let me know. If you need any tips on how to get into the industry, I'd love to help. I've always try to give advice to people who ask. Uh, Definitely study is the way forward, and then try and land yourself at a, a big company. You know what I mean? Don't try. A lot of people just go down the route of launching their own combat outlet, and that's fine because a lot of them have exploded and become successful and able to make money off. But I think if you really want to like make yourself extremely valuable, yeah, study journalism, be versatile. Don't just focus on combat sports. Like if you can work for a company, I don't know, let's say the Straits Times, and they're like, oh well, we're gonna send you to the football today or the tennis or the whatever. I don't know what sports are in Singapore, but and then you can also go and cover the MMA, and then you can specialize in your combat sports, and you bring value to that. And that's kind of how I got this all going with my career. But you cover all the bases and you pick up stuff from different areas. But anyway, yeah, we could chat anytime, Louis. I'd love to work with you too. Let's make it happen. And honest, I was able to go to Costco, get groceries, eat, get back home, all while watching the podcast. That's awesome. I hope it was worth. I thought you were gonna say I went to Costco, hey, and then got back home and you're still talking. That's what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna burn me there. Yeah. Um, what about the female ring announcer interview? Forgot her name. I suggested the idea a while ago, and you were hooked. Where is it now? What, Nara from One? Yeah. I could. I'll chat to her tomorrow. I'll see her, or on Saturday. Yeah, we. What I want to do is when I'm not as busy, I want to have a Monday show, news live stream, and then a Wednesday you're gonna have a kind of get to know a coach or a fighter or a staff member in the world of One, because I got so many friends there now. Like we had Paco the Cut Man on about a month ago or something. Thought that was a great show. We had Frank Translator on a while ago. Well, that was on Sportskeeda. But yeah, I'd like to make that a regular thing, and then yeah, that's kind of the rough idea. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta do a hydration test myself, and then I've got to publish this behind the scenes episode 2. So tune in. Yeah. It is. Yeah, Nara. Nara is her name. If we're talking about the same person, yeah, Nara. She does Friday Fights ring announcing. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Face off, ceremonial weigh-ins. We'll have all that on the channel. We'll have behind the scenes from there too, and then I'll be at Lumpini uploading some stuff from there, knockouts and maybe a few interviews. Yeah, so plenty to do, plenty to see. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's chat, Louis. Hit me up. Yeah, Louis always messaging me on Instagram and stuff. If any of you else want to hit me up for anything, just find me on Instagram, Twitter, anywhere. I always try and respond when I got time. Things do get busy sometimes during these weeks. But yeah, see you later, guys. Enjoy the rest of the week.